And good morning, everyone, and welcome to our 10:30 a.m. press conference, in which we'll be discussing something very important, something coming up next year, but we're going to start the planning for it right now, and that is Census 2020. Census is very important locally here for federal dollars, a representation in the House and the Senate. So, in that it is very important, we are giving certain importance to it today with several officials who have joined us to talk about Census 2020. I'm going to bring up our Manager of Community Action, LaVon Williams, who will give us more information about this occasion. LaVon.
Thank you. Good morning. Census 2020 is the culmination of a year-long campaign where we encourage all of our citizens to participate in the decennial census. As you may know, every 10 years, the federal government does a census of the population. It's where every citizen is counted. And so 2020 is the year for the next census. And so for the next year, between today and April 1st, 2020, we will work to educate citizens about the census process, and we will also encourage our partners, our stakeholders, our citizens, everyone in our community to take part in the effort to make sure that every single person in Orange County is counted. It is so important for so many reasons. Of course, there's funding, and there also it's our political representation, but it's also important because it's an opportunity for us as a community to come together. I like to think of this as a year-long family reunion planning. It's an opportunity for us to all come together and work together to make our community great. So thank you for coming. This is an opportunity for us to kick off our 2020 campaign, and it will be an opportunity for us to invite all of our citizens to join the effort in making sure that all Orange County citizens are counted. And at this time, I'm going to turn it back over to Jeff. Thank you very much.
We have several of our officials who are joining us, and I'd like to introduce to each and every one of you, you know him very well, the Mayor of Orange County, Mayor Jerry Demings, and also coming up is the Mayor of the City of Orlando, the Honorable Buddy Dyer. Gentlemen.
All right, good morning. Welcome to our County Administration building here. This is a good news item for us today that we're doing here in Orange County. You've heard from our manager that we are looking to make certain that we do the absolute best that we can do going forward to do the census data collection for 2020. Now, it's important because we want to make certain that really no one gets left behind. You have a number of people who are standing with us today. It represents the broad diversity of our community. We want to make certain that we get an accurate count from those who are young to those who are a little bit more mature, I would say, in our community. Our ultimate goal is to exceed at least 70% participation in the census count. In 2010, that number was 72%, and the previous 10-year census, it was 73%. But I believe here in Orange County, we can do much better than the 70%. So we want to make certain that we get out into our community and we touch every different component. In 2010, during that decade, there was over $4 billion that was made available on an annual basis. So during the decade, we're talking about $4 trillion. It is estimated that during the decade of the 2020 that we would see some $675 billion on an annual basis, which means over that 10-year period of time, we're talking about $7 trillion that would be made available to communities across America. We want to make certain that Orange County has an accurate count so that we get our fair share of those dollars that will come into our community. And when you think about the census data, the data is used by different public entities as well as private entities to make various decision-making over time. And so today, I am going to read a proclamation here that we are presenting, and at the conclusion of reading the proclamation, I'm going to introduce Mayor Dyer. But I also want to make certain that I do recognize the person who is going to be on point for our community in terms of the leadership role, Mr. Melvin Pittman, Melvin, if you would just step forward. Melvin Pittman is going to be a citizen volunteer. He's a retired senior manager here from Orange County government a few years ago, but he's very, very familiar with all of Orange County. He will be, from a volunteer perspective, working with the various entities here in the county as we move forward with the count. So the proclamation that we are presenting today reads, the United States decennial census of population and housing will be conducted beginning on April 1st, 2020. And whereas Orange County, in partnership with local municipalities, encourages all residents to participate in Census 2020 to ensure they are properly enumerated, and whereas the information collected in the census serves many useful purposes, including apportionment of representation in legislative bodies, measurement of community economic well-being, allotment of certain federal and state tax revenues, and determination of future needs for public services and other benefits. And whereas it is important that all local governments receive credit for each resident in order to earn our proper share in reapportionment and revenue sharing for the benefit of voters and taxpayers. And whereas the accuracy and completeness of response will determine the population rank of our local governments among other communities of the United States. And whereas the Orange County Complete Count Committee will spread the word on the importance of the census, encourage each resident to complete census information accurately, and return census forms promptly. Now therefore, I, Jerry L. Demings, by virtue of the authority vested in me as Orange County Mayor, do hereby proclaim Monday, April 1st, 2019 as Census 2020 Campaign Kickoff Day in Orange County, Florida, done and ordered this first day of April 2019. Jerry L. Demings, Orange County Mayor. And I'm going to ask Mr. Pittman if you'll come forward and stand between Mayor Dyer and I and accept the proclamation. Absolutely. There we go.
Good. Right here. Maybe step out a little bit so we can.
Yeah. We'll step over.
Okay. There we go. So we're not getting on the podium. Okay. Good. Smile. Will, you good? Good. Good. All right.
And you know, I failed to acknowledge that I know today is April 1st, but this is real. All right, thank you all very much.
This is real. Thank you, Mayor Demings. I'm pleased to be here, and I echo your remarks on so many things about why the census is important and why it is important that we count every individual. Having an accurate census certainly guides the distribution of funds to local governments. So the more people and the more accurate we count it, the more we're going to get our fair share of what both the federal government and the state government allocates. And also local governments use the data when we're looking at where we're going to locate parks or fire stations or other amenities. We're certainly tracking the census data from within our city. A very vivid example of federal funds and why it's important to have the count is we're all talking about affordable housing these days, and the affordable housing funds that come down from the federal government are allocated on the basis of population. So we've had press conferences at Pandana at West Lakes and Village on Mercy. Those are both two projects that were received allocations of funds. So if we want to make sure we're getting our fair share of funding related to affordable housing, we need to make sure that we have an accurate count. So this is a great kickoff event to make sure everybody knows how important it is. It's a big task. It's going to be different than it's been in the past. We're going to do a lot of this digitally on the internet. So having people understand how to make their presence known is certainly going to be important. And I appreciate all the hard work that the local committee is going to do. Thanks.
What I'll say is thank you to Mayor Dyer for being here and joining us, but I also have Commissioner Emily Bonilla who is joining us today as well. At this time, I'm going to ask Mr. Williamson to come forward, and we'll move forward with the remainder of our campaign. We have some other speakers as well.
All right, thank you very much, Mayor Demings. We do want to announce that we are looking for individuals to be a part of our committee, of the Census 2020 Local Committee. If you are one of those individuals and you share that particular interest, here's the email address that we want to give you. It is occompletecount@ocfl.net. That's OC complete count at ocfl.net. We're going to put this on the Orange County website very soon, and we're going to ask anyone who wants to be a part of that committee to send that email. We will gather it, and we will make contact with you. We have other individuals who are here as well. Is Shana here? Shana Lloyd? Oh, she's right behind us. All right. We want to introduce Shana Lloyd from 2020 Census, the Atlanta Regional Office. Ms. Lloyd, thank you so much for being with us.
We'd like to say thank you to the Orange County for partnering with the Census, as well as to the City of Orlando for partnering with us to help form the complete count committees. We are really excited as we'll be able to reach our residents with our message. We are 1 year out. This is a big day. It's an important reference day because a year from today, everyone will be taking and completing the census. We ask that you complete your census and be sure that you include young children and anyone else that is living in your household. Everyone is counted, including newborn kids. If they're here on the 1st, please include them. The census is safe, it's easy, as well as it's important. It's going to be online, so you can respond in methods that are a lot faster and easier for you. There's a 1-800 number that is a secondary response point that you can call and get assistance and respond. You can also request a mail-in ballot as well if you choose to that method and that is your preference. It is important. Your response shapes our future. There are federal dollars that are allocated based on our population count, so it is really important that we get an accurate count so the dollars are going to the communities that need it. It is also safe. The U.S. Census Bureau does not share the information with any other agency, and we protect your data. It is mandated by the Constitution. We are also hiring. We hire from the areas in which you'd be working and living, residents of those areas. So we are looking to hire over 1,500 partnership specialists and 500,000 across the U.S. So please look for jobs that are with the census. We have various jobs that we're excited to bring to the communities. Thank you.
All right, LaVon, I don't know if you have some closing comments that you'd like to make at this particular point in time. Mayor, I guess the comments are left to you, but I want to give that email address one more time for those individuals who might want to join the committee. It is OCcompleteCount, OCcompleteCount at ocfl.net. Thank each and every one of you who have come out to this press conference. It's a very important issue. We certainly are glad that you are here, and all of those who joined us, behind us, thank you so much, very much. Mayor, some closing comments.
Before we close, I thought it would be very informational for Shana to perhaps share with us a little bit about the process, because individuals, before they actually get to participate in the completion of the census form, there's some work that will be done, and then there's a relatively narrow period of time that they will have to actually complete the online census. But there is something that I believe they will receive in the mail prior to. Can you just kind of talk to us a little bit about the process?
Absolutely. So right now we're in the education phase. We're working with our local governments and our community agencies to get information out to residents so they understand the process by which the census will happen. Early spring, you will receive mailers. The mailers will have a promo code on it that identify your address. That is a code you will use when you're responding via any one of the online methods, whether it's your smartphone, your iPad, or your laptop. If you call the 1-800 number, you'll need that as well. You'll receive a few mailers. They'll start in the spring. April 1 is Census Day. That is the day by which we hope to get our count. That is a day by which we hope you respond. After that, if you don't respond, we have non-response follow-up. Non-response follow-up is when someone will come to your door and knock on your door and say, "Hi, I'm a Census Bureau worker," with a badge. They will have identification, and they will assist you and remind you to fill out your forms. They will visit a few times until you get that form back to us. So please make sure you respond. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, thank you very much. And I guess we could respond to just a few questions from the media if you have any.
Mayor, there's a preoccupation right now. It's the question about U.S. citizens. So, everyone has to be counted. But some communities are worried about that question that will be appears for the first time in this census.
We realize that here within the Metro Orlando area, it's a multicultural community where people speak various languages and different cultural diasporas are represented. But from the broad array of people that we have here in the community, really what we're going to be doing between now and then is making certain that we establish the relationships with the various organizations so that we can communicate. We will even, during that period of time, individuals who may be incarcerated, you know, they even must be counted as well during this process. So we want to make certain that we have all of the details associated with how we will move forward as a community so that we don't miss anyone. Again, Orange County has a history of performing at a 70+% goal. Our goal really is to meet that but exceed that. And historically, I believe that all tracks have to perform at 40% or better. And so that our goal is to really, again, do the best that we can do to identify the numbers in our community. I don't know if Ms. Williams, if you have anything else, Shana, to add in that regard to the question that's been asked, but we understand that with new immigrants that this has to be an evolving process as well. So.
And the question hasn't been decided. They have until June to make a decision on whether or not it will actually be on the census form. So as soon as we get that information, we then communicate and work with our trusted voices in the community to advise people of what is going to be on the census and how to respond.
Okay, if there are no further questions, thank you all for being here. I would point out that we have a couple of poster boards with some interesting information for you as well. So again, thank you for being here.